Welcome to Spurs Vision TV. Right, sorry for the delay a bit today because I had some things to do, set up the new background kind of scenario that's going on here, right? And of course, we are looking at how you say today. There are a lot of topics to talk about, but before we go on that, we're going to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good what you guys around the world. And I'm having a bit of internet connection problems now because it's been raining in what call Malaysia. So usually when it rains, we get bad internet connections, right? So it is what it is, right? And as a lot of people say, why are you taking that Levy internet connection? But guys, welcome. Chang, how are you doing today? I know you're a bit of a rush and you're still in your office.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me back. It's great to be back on Spurs Vision TV
Hold on, Chang. Thank you for having you back, right? You're a co-host here, so you don't have to say that.
Okay, yep. Thank you for that time reminder as well.
I have to remind you, you're the co-host of Spurs Vision TV, right? So yeah, you don't have to be.
I would just like to say, what a pleasure and an honor it is to finally be able to share the same screen with King Arthur himself, Mr. Arthur Howard. How are you, good sir? Greetings from Kuala Lumpur here in Malaysia. It's a wet and windy 8 p.m. evening on a Friday night, and we are on the cusp of another fantastic round of weekend fixtures to look forward to. I'm sure one of them is the top of the table clash, but we'll get into that much later. Over to you, King Arthur.
Yes, Arthur.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back on here. It's been quite a while. And as you probably know, Chang, Eugene is a good friend of mine. We met, we liked each other, and you're a good man yourself. So
thank you very much.
All I want to see is our beloved club on the right tracks. I think Levy's backing Ange, but at the same time, he's trying to screw us by putting up the prices. And I'm a season ticket holder, I'm very upset.
Yeah. So today we have Arthur here, so he'll actually give us his perspective of what's happening, right? But before we go on, of course, I have to say, of course, happy International Women's Day too to all the women in around the world, right? I mean, we love women, right? And of course, that's
oh yeah. Now, when I was a young man, no, I won't.
Okay, we won't go there, right? Okay, where's Iris?
In the other room.
Thank God, right? But guys, let's get back to some we'll call more footballing matters at the moment, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is that I have to go and say this, right? We beat Palace 3-1, right? But my question is, what about the performance, right? So we'll go quickly through this subject, right? But what I felt is that how am I going to say this, right? We didn't turn up for at least 70 over minutes, and luckily we turned up for the last 15 to 20 minutes, right? Including all the injury time and extra time and all that. And we got the result that more or less what a Spurs fan won, right? And I was doing the watch along with a couple of guys like Chris Agamba, Scott M, right? Not Scott Munn. I want to say Scott Munn. Scott from Canada, right? And we were just pulling our hair out, the miss by Werner. Big up, Chris. Chris, you have the link, right? If you want to hop on. If you're free, big up to Chris, right? And me, Chris, and Scott, we were pulling our hair out and just, I mean, I've done so many watch-alongs, right? And to tell the truth, right, even when Conte was in charge, it wasn't that boring. You get what I'm saying? Huh? Yeah, it turned out to be so boring, and I was going, why are we doing this horseshoe formation, right? That goes you, So it was really, really unbearable, and most of the time we were complaining about the performances, right? Yeah. Chris, big up Chris. He's in the office too, so he'll only be in the chats, right? So big up to Chris, right? Thanks for being on the chats too, right? And Chris and I and Scott, we were like, it was so unbearable and it was boring until, of course, when Palace scored, right? And I was saying, right, why do we have to get it shoved up our ass before we do anything else? right? So it is what it is. Maybe that's why we are Spurs fans, right? Like getting it shoved up our, whatever, and it will go on. So based on the performance, I didn't like the performance, but of course we won, right? Even with the 3-1 scoreline, which actually tell the truth was flattering, right? Because we were boring, right? We were promised all this exciting football, but to tell the truth, right? The exciting attacking football has not been there ever since the Chelsea game. So I'm not sure whether there's some kind of like in Malaysia, like what Malaysian slang says, right? Kita tarik handbrake lah. Saying that means we pull the handbrakes. Right. So it is what it is, right? Chang, you were doing the watch along with Jose and Colin, right? For their first watch along ever on Talk on Ball, right? That's why you weren't able to join us on Spurs Vision TV watch along, right? How did you guys do during the watch along? Did you all fall asleep, or were you just talking about other things, like food, traveling while the game was going on?
Okay, so from what we were able to gather, or rather what we saw before our very eyes unfold during that first 45 minutes, it was the equivalent of, while it wasn't the worst of performances, I would say that the movement in the final third was severely lacking. Although we will have something completely different to say had Timo Werner been able to tuck away that glorious first up opportunity when he was put through over the top by Son. I think he was more rusty than nervous from the way he tried to round the stopper, the Palace stopper, and that for me was something to ponder over in the first half, because other than that, I can't really recall any other clear-cut opportunities that we had in the first half, and that was just the first half alone. In the second half, whatever Big Ange said to the team really worked, because they came out firing on all cylinders, trying to find that breakthrough. But yet again, for I can't remember how many times this season now, we are reverting back to second half FC. We are slowly but surely reverting back.
Chang, I don't think we are second half FC now. We're 15 minutes FC. Yes, we only turn up for 15 minutes of the game, right? So if we are not like 3-4-0 down, right, then we have a chance to actually win the game and score 3 goals or 2 goals to win the game. And that's the sad part, right? So second half FC, yeah. Continue, Chang. Sorry to break your train.
It's okay, it's fine, because this is where I needed to highlight this. Even in the previous home league match against Wolverhampton Wanderers, you could see that it required a second half spark from the first few minutes of that half. And that was the only time where we made any headway against Wolves. And the same happened again against Palace at home. We tried our best, but yet again, another home league game, yet another unforced error from a dead ball situation that led to Palace scoring. I'm not even going to talk about the arrangement or the organization of our wall. That was so strange to see. A part of the wall melts away when the Palace players just parted like the Red Sea. But more on that, we can discuss a lot on that about the free kick wall. But I'm really glad. I'm so glad Timo Werner got his first goal for Spurs. I hope there'll be more to come from between now to the rest of the season. And it's good to see Brennan Johnson doing what he is expected of him. Never mind the hefty price tag that came with his signing in the summer. He is really proving to be a super sub now. 2 great assists, one for Werner and the other one to set up Son right at the very end. But that's what we would like to see. Those 3 goals in the span of 11, 12 minutes. That was the best I've seen Spurs play in the second half all season, albeit it required a massive kick up the arse, pardon my French, to really get us going, to really kick us into gear. So I really do hope we do not revert to type and give away yet another needless free kick or corner or dead ball situation to Aston Villa, whom I'm very sure will be looking to punish us given the slightest opportunity, because make no mistake, this weekend's game is a massive 6-pointer that's going to be season defining, not just for us, but for Villa as well. But yeah, about that Palace game, if we could just keep the clean sheet, which is at a premium this season, I have no idea why, even with the likes of Romero and Van der Ven and Udogi, we are still conceding all these needless and pointless, really, unforced errors leading up to goals conceded. But it's good to see Son Heung-min back on the score sheet. Make no mistake about that. Good to see Timo Werner break his duck, scoring his first ever Spurs League goal. And Brandon Johnson, keep it up. All that hard work is paying off. Super sub for Spurs, and I really cannot wait to get into our home fixture. Our away fixture against Villa at Villa Park in about 48 hours.
We'll talk about that later in the next segment of the thing. But the thing is that for the Brandon Johnson assist to Timo Werner, honestly, to tell the truth, right, there was a tinge of luck with it because the defender slipped, right, and the midfielder missed the ball. But persistence paid for Brandon, right, and of course his cross to Werner was, we call it good, right, perfect for actually Werner to tap it in. And also Son did his part because with his movement he pulled away 2 players from Werner, right, to give Werner and Johnson to spot Werner being free on the far end of the post to come in to get the ball, right. But I need to ask Arthur this, because if I'm not mistaken, Arthur, you went to that game, right?
Well, I missed your talk along because I was at watch along. I was at the game, I was bored to tears for 3/4 of the game. Instead of me sitting on the edge of my seat, I was laying back, hands in pocket, going to sleep at one stage. It was just so bloody boring. But then, that last 15, 20 minutes, we seemed as if we'd had a hot poker up our backsides, and we started to play. And we started to play the sort of football that we expect from the team. And it was proper Ange ball, fast, furious, with the result of a goal at the end of each attack, which, in my opinion, was like, oh, we're back on song, here we go again. But no, if you said to me, marks out of 10, I'd say 6. Because if we hadn't had that last 15, 20 minutes of what I would say scintillating football, and there was some good moves there, good passing, I would have bloody died of boredom. There were 768 passes by Tottenham in that game, highest ever recorded. 768. Well, they passed us to death nearly. But overall, I would say we were saved almost by the bell towards the end. Because if we hadn't got that first goal, we'd have probably ended up like at the Wolves game, losing.
That's true.
So as far as I'm concerned, we did well, but Sunday is the game now with Aston Villa. That is going to be one humdinger.
Yeah. And we'll go into that after this, right? And obviously, maybe that's part of Levy's plan, right? Ange bored the spectators to death, so they'll go and buy more beers at the counter.
And food.
The first half is not. You don't have to watch the first half when Spurs play, right? So we rather you stay in the concession stalls, eat, fill up, drink, right? Come back in the second half, right? Take a piss, take a dump, come back second half, and while the second half is going on, it's still going on. Go back for a couple more beers, come back in the last 15, 20 minutes, and that's when we start playing, right, guys? So spend more money, then the football will start coming in. So once the beer numbers don't go up, right? And she said, hold back, you ain't starting yet. All right, we reach our target, all out.
Listen, having given you my report on Sunday's game firsthand, I will say that their free kick was one humdinger. It was a cracking goal. And I wish we had players in our side that could do it.
We honestly, Arthur, ever since we've lost Ericsson, right? I think we've lost actually a free kick taker. And I was hoping actually when Madison came in, Madison will actually take
Yeah.
over that helm.
Yeah.
When we had to suffer about 4 or 5 years of Harry Kane taking free kicks.
Yeah.
We all know the story.
We're still looking for some of those balls on the moon.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's landed in Bayern Munich. All right, guys. But of course, Arthur being there in the stadium in that first half, right? How was the atmosphere? Was it like really that, bad? I mean, were the fans just like falling asleep and, like that?
The first 10, 20 minutes maximum, it was okay. But after that, it was almost like a morgue. Just went quiet,
Mhm.
you know. And I don't think Ange could wait for half time. I think he got them in here and gave them a real red hot rocket where it hurts
Mhm.
most, because they did start to play. But that first half was absolutely abominable. It really, really was. And I don't know how we survived being 1-0 down, to be honest.
Yeah, and honestly, I think just the standard of Palace, that's how I see it, right? Because I think Palace' problem was when they took out Eze, right? They lost that outlet of actually attacking us, the quality of attacking us, you see. So when that happened, right, we actually dominated back and got back control of the game. So a lot of things played into it. A bit of luck for Brennan to score the equalizer, and of course, for when Eze was taken off, Palace, Palace was what we were feeling like Spurs. You change one player for a lower level player, and then that's when the whole level drops. Right? That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But as I can say, we'll go into the next topic now, right? And that topic will be this Sunday's game. Villa versus Spurs, right? That's why I've got 3 question marks there, right? Let me go to Arthur first, right? Arthur, Villa versus Spurs. I'm not sure. I don't think you don't do away games, right? So
No.
most of the time you do home games because of the season tickets that you
I
have.
watch it on the TV.
Away games I watch on TV, or you watch it together with me while we're doing a watch along.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on away game based on what we are doing now, right? For the past 5 games you analyze, right? And if we do play up against Villa, which is well organized, right? And to tell the truth, I think Mr. Good Evening, their manager Unai Emery has been actually underrated for some time, even though he's won. Let me count now: 5 Europa Leagues, 4 or 5 Europa Leagues he's won, right? So yeah, and he's still underrated, but he's showing that what he can do in Villa now. But my question comes next, right? I see now, right? The Villa fans are actually panicking because of the PSR rules, right? The profit sustainably regulations and all that. And I've been seeing some Villa fans saying that most probably they are breaching it by the time next year comes, right? They might have to sell a few or more of their established players and all that. But hold on, let me bring out one more guest. Hi, Doc.
Hi. Sorry for my lateness.
Good evening, Dr. Ramlan.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Hold on, Doc. You have echo.
Echo,
Yeah, you might have to put.
You just hold on. Let me sort this out. Okay.
Yep, your YouTube tab. All right. I think Doc has got the YouTube channel on one side, and that's why you get an echo whenever that happens, right? So let him settle that. And Doc Ramlan is actually like more or less a very, very old Spurs fans from Malaysia. So that's why while we get to the last part of it, that will be interesting. Of course, when Doc comes back, most probably I'll ask him about the performance of the Crystal Palace game and how he felt, whether he watched the game or not, right? But we'll continue with okay, Doc.
Yeah. Is this okay now?
Can you hear me? But because I still get an echo.
There's an echo.
There is, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah. Doc, I think you have to, let's see if on the computer how many tabs you have on. if your YouTube tab is on, you have to close it, right? Because that's where the sound is coming back from, I guess. Because when he speaks, there's no echo, but when we speak, there's an echo. So that's the weird part. I'm not sure about that. So maybe you have to log in and log out and log in again. That's another thing you can try. Right. Okay, Arthur.
Sir.
So the Villa Spurs game is going to be interesting, right? We all know, right? If we don't get a positive result from this game, right, more or less our top 4 trophy will be thrown into the drain, because nowadays I don't even care if we get top 4, top 5, or top 6 or whatever, because the way the club's been run, right, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bring us more hope that the owners are going to pump in money to actually bring us to the next level. So it doesn't matter whether we're top 4, top 5, top 6, right? At this moment in time, of course, being a Spurs fan, we do want to win because we lost to Villa at home, right? So it's a bit of pride for us, right? And for what I've been saying, Emery is not a bad manager. He's actually a decorated manager, winning a lot of Europa Leagues, right? And now he's actually toiling, trying to bring Villa to what Villa was at one time. Guys, and you must always remember, right? Aston Villa does have a European history, right? If I'm not mistaken, Aston Villa has actually won, at that period of time, it was called the European Cup.
Yeah.
Right. So they've been champions of Europe before too. So we can't look down on that, right? Based on their history. And of course, we have our history, they have their history. But now with Emery at the helm, right, and we are actually competing with Villa to actually get into the Champions League, right? Do you think we actually have a chance? Because Aston Villa had to play a Thursday game against Ajax, if I'm not mistaken, in the Conference League. So what are your thoughts on the game?
So my thoughts on the game is, one, it's hard to get the result away at Villa anyway. They're very strong at home, very strong. Although they've been very good on the road as well. My thoughts, I think it's going to be a very, very close thing. And unless we play our top game, we're going to come second. They'll take the points. So if we're on form, I can see this being a really dusty old game. Sparks flying everywhere and goals flying in. So it's really hard to pick a winner in this game. And I wish I could turn around and say, yeah, definitely Spurs. But as you've seen from past performances, and that's what I'm basing this on, as recent as the Crystal Palace game, we could come a cropper on this one. So we've got to be on our game. We've got to be on our mettle. We have to dig in and make sure that they don't get through our defence. We've got a good defence. Let's make it work. You've got some great players there in the back line. Romero, Van der Ven, and good old Vic as the goalkeeper. I don't know if Porro will be ready in time.
That's another question.
That's another question, you see. So it depends on if, ands, and buts. Who's going to play, who can play, who shouldn't play. So we've just got to wait and see. We've got to wait and see what the team list is.
Okay, to be fair. Yeah, of course, we're not sure whether Porro will be back or not. We'll most probably end up with Emerson Royale again.
Yeah.
We'll come to the score predictions later, and of course, I'll put my input into the Villa game. Right, Cheng, your thoughts, right?
So for this away game at Villa Park, my primary concern is which Spurs team is going to turn up. Is it going to be old, tepid, very pedestrian, passing sideways and backwards, and just waiting for the opposition to come at us, waiting for some spark from the opponents before we get anything done ourselves? That is what I'm most worried about. Our away performances, or rather our away form, hasn't been always crisp or easy on the eye. And if the Everton away game serves as a timely reminder just how frail we are at the back when it comes to defending corners, set pieces, dead balls, and the like, I mean, to be fair, this is exactly what King Arthur mentioned himself just only moments earlier, whereby we do have the defenders, we do have a very formidable and solid backline, as well as a very dependable and reliable goalkeeper. It's just cutting out the errors, cutting out these unforced errors, the unnecessary mistakes, and also just lackadaisical defending from set pieces by the opposition. That's what got me worried. But other than that, I would take, if there's anything positive that I would take away from the home game against Palace, which I will bring away to Villa Park, would be our midfield. Our midfield trio should be Maddison, Pape Matasar, and Bissouma. I'm resting Bentancur not because I don't want him to end up clashing with Matthew Cash and create an altercation on the pitch that might affect the tempo of the game, but rather I would reserve him for much later. Get Pape Matasar on, and we will see a different midfield, hopefully one with a lot more pace to it, a lot more dynamism, and preferably a lot more passing range. Because don't get me wrong, Maddison, Bentancur, and Bissouma did well on the day at home against Palace, which is why at one point in the first half, we had something like 80% of the possession. That is ludicrous. That is just insane figures for one team to just completely dominate the ball for an entire 45 minutes. But it is one thing to dominate the possession, and it's something else entirely different to actually make use of possession, like actually do something with it rather than just, wander up to the final third and nothing materializes. That I think is what got you snoozing on Saturday afternoon. So in order to avoid that, we really need someone with that box-to-box ability. Pape Matasar ticks all the boxes for me. I would keep Bentancur on the bench, and hopefully we'll see a different midfield. Hopefully that will lead to maybe a lot more clear-cut chances for us. Although that will also greatly depend on how well the likes of Werner and Kulusevski are going to be delivering from the wings. The delivery, Timo Werner did impose himself a fair deal against Palace at home, but will he be able to repeat the same trick at Villa Park? That remains to be seen. So I tell you what, let's just see the kind of lineup that Big Ange puts up on Sunday against Villa, and I'm really looking forward to hear from Big Ange later this evening when he does his pre-match press conference.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let me get to Doc, right? Because Doc, you're a bit late. I'll come back to you on this, then I'll go on the Villa, right? The Spurs Palace game, I'm not sure whether you watched it because I think you were a bit busy, right? And if you did watch it after your appointments and all that, what do you think about the performance, Doc?
Against Villa? Yeah. Can you hear?
Palace.
Palace. Okay.
The Palace game first, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch the match at all because I was really tapped out the whole day. So I just thought I'd just catch the highlights in the morning, which I did. And there was hardly any highlights from the first half, was there? No, hardly any. But there was mostly from
the Timo Werner 1-on-1. That was the highlights for the first half.
Oh yeah.
No, the highlight was me going to sleep.
No. I think I saved myself, some sleepiness, watching the game rather than I might as well have the right snooze then. But the thing is, I even you can see there were so many chances, Son hitting the post, base of the post, and all that.
Yeah.
And I feel that somehow from what I gather from all the inputs, online discussions after that, it seems as if we were trying to, with 80% plus possession, we were trying to walk the ball into goal or something, And when you have somebody with a team with practically 10 men, in front of you. You just have to try to take a shot from 20 meters out or something, right? So there's no invention. It's just like automatic mode, as if you need to keep passing around and try to see an opening. When actually, in the end, Ben Tunker did have a good opportunity from further out, but the ball went to the upper stands, and out into the atmosphere. But yeah, so that was something else. But you see, you have to be brave, you have to be adventurous to carve out opportunities with that sort of defending. And you feel that after all this time, I think people have got us figured out, yes, how we play, and this low block approach by opposing teams, I think, is something that they feel will yield benefits when you just get the low block and then go forward on the break, just like what we did during contest time. Yes, so that's the thing. So, but it's something that I feel that we seem to be finding our solutions in the second half with new personnel and all that. And fortunately, we did. Now, all in all, I always welcome a good result. Okay, I always welcome a good result. And the way I saw some videos recently about how Son was moving out. He sort of went in, drew the defenders out just a bit.
Yeah.
A bit, yes. For Brandon to cross over for Werner to score the goal. That was brilliant, actually. And if you were to watch that offhand, you would not have noticed it. It's like as if, but you can see how deliberate it was by him moving into closer to the goalie and then moving out again, as if, and then the defenders they were sort of between the devil and the deep blue sea, right? So they will go with the man. They will go with the man, all the time. So therein lies the opportunity where Timo Werner eventually had that golden chance. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But Doc, but to tell you the truth, right? Our performance in the past 5 games or so, right? I'm sure you've watched a few of them, even though you didn't watch the Palace, right? I'm sure
I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you felt, right? Something's not quite right. Our performances. I mean, I'm not going to compare what we did in the beginning of the season, but it wasn't even half of that. The Palace stats, right, for the first half was how you call astonishing in a way you can't understand. Is that we had 83% of possession, right, but only 2 shots on goal, 1 on target. And the 1 on target, right, was actually the Werner miss. You get what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah,
One thing, right? And because we know that Werner and his quality, and I hope now, right, Storm will put his arm around Werner and tell him, all right, when you go 1-on-1 on the goalkeeper, when you're running into the goal, right, when the goalkeeper rush at you, that's when you shoot. You see?
Yeah.
Right? When the goalkeeper rush at you, you try to go around the goalkeeper, but and then you got no more space. So hopefully Werner learns from that, right? But of course, we all welcome the result, right? Because this was a 3-1. And I was earlier talking to the Chang and Arthur, right? We only turn up for the last 15, 20 minutes. You as a sports doctor, right? Do you see a trend? Because I see a trend, right? Ever since the Chelsea game, when people were praising us for being so brave, being 2 men down, playing that high line and blah, 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 but we still lost 4-1, right? But whatever it goes, we're in a stage at this moment, right? What I feel the trend is like this. We can't actually consistently play. Hold on, let me say a big up to JP from Tottenham Away. Big up, JP. Hope you're doing well, right? What I see now, right, is that Spurs, I think Ange has figured it out. We don't have the players and the capability of actually playing Ange ball for, don't even say 90 minutes, right? 45 minutes straight on, because the players can't take it. Okay, I understand. We don't want to see Vin, right? Every 2 minutes chasing after a defender going back, because if he's doing that, right, his hamstrings are gone by the end of the game, correct? So Ange, now he's gone to a tactic of actually maintaining and controlling. That's why we end up playing now this kind of U-shaped horseshoe football. When we have the ball, when teams sit back, we just take up and absorb the possession part, but none creativity in trying to create a goal scoring chance. And like what all of us are saying here, why don't we take the shot outside of the penalty box? right?
Yeah.
See, when Werner had that one-on-one, he ran straight on the goalkeeper. He went into the penalty box. It was over. When Stone had his one-on-one, right, he ran towards the penalty box. The goalkeeper came out. He shot before he arrived in the penalty box. That's when he caught the goalkeeper out. So Kane and Son are doing this now. They've actually, I tell you, right, these two guys have actually perfected that kind of scenario, the one-on-one, right? So at this time, right, I don't think we will be able to actually see actual Ange Ball to continue performing like what we did in the first 10 games, right, where we didn't lose, right, and 8 wins and all that. We don't have the capability now because I think after what we did for the first 10 games, injuries came in, right? When Naveen pulled his hamstring, right, all the things that started to accumulate, right, and the aggressiveness of Udogie, right, aggressiveness of Bissouma, right, getting yellow cards after yellow cards after yellow cards, right, consecutively around the games, right, and not even adding up to become a suspension. Even before becoming a suspension, yes, a double yellow become red, right? So I think that's why Ange has pulled back a bit, and that's why the performance that we are seeing now is due to that. The players can't continue playing at that high tempo and intensity, right? Maybe they're not fit enough, or maybe we need that rotation to be able to do that kind of thing. And of course, we see that once we lose our two wing backs, right? We lose Udogie and Porro. You put in Davis and who else? Oh yeah, Royale. I want to say the other one. I want to say Royale then, and everything collapsed, right? So that's how we have actually turned out. And from there, I'll continue because to the Villa and Spurs game, right? Because Chang and Arthur has actually put his input on it. Your input on the Villa and Spurs game now. What are your actual feelings? Because I got 3 question marks there, but later I'll say my thoughts on it. Go ahead, Doc.
Oh, okay, right. Can I just have a quick remark about that so-called miss by Timo Werner?
Yep.
Yeah. He just he seems as though he was so fast he left his brain behind, because he's so fast he left his brain behind because he had too much. He was thinking too much, right? When you see Son, as soon as he's on his bike, he has already made the decision how to play the ball because he can see before him, right? So when you see acres of space before you, you have to decide where you want to put it, right? So when he actually sees the goalkeeper coming out to him, suddenly he starts to think about this other option, that other option. So it was something that he just thinks too much. Just put the ball in, lah. Okay. So that's all I can say. As for Villa, I feel I caught a bit of the discussion prior to my joining in, and I think I agree. Benteke, even Madison needs a bit more time, and even Bissouma himself. I think the Chelsea game that time and all the other games that led to our players being absent due to accumulated cards and all that have cost us a bit, in terms of, you see, one is about individual players' rhythm and conditioning, right? Because when you're out of the game because of injury, your conditioning will suffer because the intensity of the conditioning work cannot be the same as if you're not injured, you see, when you're not injured. So this is something that I feel that the coaches and the conditioning guys have to look at because it is something which can be expected after all. So I think sometimes because of desperation and the fact that people are thinking, why are players out for so long and so on and so forth, sometimes that bit of reintroduction into the game has to have some patience, in terms of getting them back. Benteke, you can see his best lurking behind, but not yet there. He made a mistake in the Palace game, right? That led to the free kick that Palace scored. And I think, it's because he's always 1.5 steps behind. So in the end, he made a desperate attempt, a lunge, and then that cost us. So I think that in going forward in the game versus Villa this weekend, I think we have to have. Look, people always say that Ange doesn't have a plan B. Yes, they say he doesn't have a plan B. He has a plan A. So yeah, I agree with you, Eugene, that in the end, we are not at the level physically that we were in the first half of the season. That is very clear for all to see. And and at the same time, people have got us figured out. And all you have to do is just needle Romero, right? Get him, get him to receive a card. But I think he's been good for the past few matches, hasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
He's been very good. Good boy. And I think Udogi is suffering from accumulated injuries. Sometimes the injuries that you suffer is not the major one, all these niggling small injuries, a bit of inflammation there, swelling there, here and there, and all that will accumulate and affect your performance overall. So I feel that in the end, we need time, but I think the Villa game at best is 50-50, simply because we are not at our best. And we are hoping for a bit of luck to give the wind beneath our wings, that sort of thing. And okay, and perhaps we can get a bit of luck. And I would like to see Pep Matassa, start. I agree totally, because he's got that extra something. He's got pace and movement around that gives the other players some options. Because the other thing that we have, because if you're injured and you're trying to struggle and manage your fitness, you will slow down a bit. That slight reduction of speed will give the opponents an opportunity to catch up with you, or to think of how best to stymie your movement and all that.
Okay, but Doc, to tell the truth, right? Ange has said, right? Actually, Sa has got a back injury. So when you have a back injury, right, that will actually screw up a lot of things, right? Because the movement will be number one, not as the movement that you can create, right? Based on your experience as a doctor, right? Do you think? To tell the truth, right, in my honesty, I can tell you, I see, right, Ange playing, if Porro doesn't come back, right, because Porro is still injured, Ange will play the same players that he played against Palace. That's how I think Ange will do it, right? And of course, what JB says, right, we don't have the depth. You see, someone gets injured, we don't have the same quality, the level of someone to come in to replace that player and continue on and let that guy actually have a proper recuperation period, right? That's why even what Bentancur now, we all can see that Bentancur has actually been forced back early into the squad. During the absence of Son, Son, who else? Son, Bissouma, and Sa, when they left for all their international duties, plus all the injuries and suspensions we had, he's been pushed back. So now my question is that if that back injury, do you think it will recover within that 1 week before we play Villa? Because after the game against Palace, Ange did come out and says that you could see Sa actually jumping up and down. You see, I think he's like trying to stretch his back when you jump up and down, right, to try to realign something to be more comfortable. So if you do have a back injury, I don't think it's going to be that simple for Sa to recover and come back into the team. But for what I think about the Villa game, because I'm not sure any of you guys need to add anything else before I go on my thoughts on the Villa game. Chang, anything else to add on the Villa game? Arthur?
The one thing that we'll say about the Villa game, Villa match would be that they just only played this morning, which would be late Thursday evening UK time. They just only they went away. In fact, they were at Ajax, I think. They were away at Ajax Amsterdam late last night, so that might be a factor. Although whether or not there has any impact on their performance and their fitness on the day, on Sunday, would be a completely different matter. But there is that thing that they just only completed an away match at Ajax Amsterdam, and all of us are hoping, praying that that would somehow or rather slow them down on Sunday against us.
Hopefully. Right. Arthur, anything else to add?
Well, I totally agree with what Chang's just said. I hope it does work out that way, but like the scouts say, be prepared. You have to stand up yourself, and you have to be counted. Like any true man, the team is in its singularity is a person, if you like. We're all with the same thought. Now that's where we got to be. We've all got to be thinking together and doing together. And against Palace, for 3/4 of the game, we were all over the shop. But I don't know. It's going to be very hard. And I stand by what I said, is that I think it's very, very hard to call. And I'm expecting Villa on their own ground to just take it.
Okay, fair. And to tell you the truth, right? What I see at this moment, right? If we turn up, because our performances in the past 5 games, right? The proof is there. We don't turn up from the start of the game. We usually are like, we are dormant, or what you call, we are sleeping, and if we have possession, that gives the opponent less chances of scoring the goal against us. But now we're going to Villa, right? Even if Villa has played on Thursday and come back on Sunday, it might take a toll on the players. But most probably, big up. Good morning, Andreas. Good morning to you, right? Hope you're doing well. If you're not mysterious, yeah, you should be in the America side, Andreas, right? What I see now in this Villa game is that with the performance that we have been putting out in all the few games that we've been having the past couple of weeks or 3-4 weeks or a month ago, I keep seeing this thing is that we don't turn up until very late in the game. So if Villa is smart, right, and if Emery is smart, he comes out against us at home, because they are at home, they will have to come at us. But that gives us another positive point, is that gives us space to play when they come at us, because we have been struggling with teams actually sitting back and low blocking us, right, not giving us space to run into. If Villa comes at us, right, and if our defense holds up and we get space and we can actually go forward and beat them, right, and do something with it, which we haven't done, right, in the past 4 or 5 games, right, in the beginning of the first half and in the beginning of the second half, apart from the Wolves game where, Decky just ran through all the defenders and put it between the legs of the goalkeeper, right? We actually haven't turned up, until very late of the game. So my biggest fear is that, sorry, Arthur, yes, go ahead.
I just want to encapsulate it. As Chang said, it depends which Spurs team turns up.
No, because we know which Spurs team is going to turn up, Arthur. It's that same team, right, that doesn't come out in the first half, right, or doesn't come out in the first 70 minutes of the game. That is the team that we've been seeing turning up for all our games recently, right? Maybe
second half FC.
Or 20 minutes FC, second half FC, or that could be the tactical point of Ange, because he says that we can't keep playing Ange ball for 45 minutes and 90 minutes, because now, guys, don't forget, nowadays, right, football games are no more actually 90 minutes, right? With all that VAR, injury time added on, blah, 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 right?
100
game, yeah,
100 minutes.
A minimum 100 minutes, right?
Yeah.
We play, right? Because don't forget, first half and second half. Now I've seen, first half, 5 minutes at a time. Second half, 8 minutes at a time, right? And that game prolongs. So when you come to the scenario like this, right, and we don't have that control of the game, if we go to Villa Park and Villa Park dominate us, control the game, we haven't actually seen Spurs play a low block. We are bad at corners. We are bad at set pieces, right? And that actually gives me a lot of concerns on what is going to turn up. And to tell you the truth, my prediction for this game, right? Okay, I was saying it's going to be something, Villa's going to smash us 3-0 or something like that. But to calculate it backwards, maybe in the first half, Villa is going to smash 3. I've got this funny feeling. It's going to turn out like the Brighton game. Remember what Brighton did to us? Right? When we were away, right, against Brighton, right? I got a feeling it's going to turn out 4-2. But we were shit for, 70 minutes again? And then all of a sudden, in the last 9 minutes of the second half, we scored 2 goals or something, just to make it more acceptable for Spurs fans. But what my biggest fear is at this moment, as I see it, right, Spurs have become a team. That's why I said it's boring. Even when it was during Conte ball, right, when we sat back, the attacking team was attacking us. We were defending. It at least keep you excited. It was like, ooh, he did a good block. Oh, the goalkeeper did a good save, right? And then when we had a counter attack, our hearts were beating because we were chasing after the ball, like the players were chasing after the ball in the counter attack. But now we're playing horseshoe football. You, right? I'm going like, okay, put it back, forward. It's like something, we know what they're going to do, like run all the way to the end of the corner, then we're going to come back, pass it back to the midfield, then go to the left, and then go all the way to the end to the other corner, pass it back to the midfield. So it becomes, like Arthur said, first half, he nearly fell asleep, right? And I was saying maybe this was a plan by Levy to tell Ange, right, play the U, possession football, bore the fans to death so they go and buy more food and beer in the concession stands. Right? But guys, my prediction, let's go for predictions now, right? I think we're going to lose. And a lot of guys have been saying, right? I've been seeing a lot of guys who said that we're going to lose 3-2, right? Most probably, I'm going more or less in that kind of scenario. We're going to lose 4-2 or 3-2, right? Unless Villa doesn't turn up. If Villa turn up, I don't think even we'll be able to score because they do have a very good goalkeeper, right? Martinez, their back line is not weak, So that's how I see it, right? And of course, Andrea says under Conte defending, we defended better and scored more goals. So Ange has no plan B, right? Yeah, and what JB says that they moved the ball too slowly. Yeah, I'm not sure that we moved the ball too slowly, right? As if we move the ball too slowly, we ain't, I call like what Doc's been saying, right? The vision. When you have possession of the ball, you must have a vision of what you want to do with the ball, right? Of course, when you have possession of the ball, the vision of you having the ball is trying the ultimate goal, is to get the goal. Right? What Son has the vision, right? What Werner didn't have the vision, and of course, everything has to come naturally and flows throughout. But at this moment in time, right, we do not see the kind of football that we used to play in the first 10 games where the vision was there, is that Maddison gets the ball, he pings it, he knows someone is on the other end of that ball, right, is going to be picking up that ball. I don't see that now. Now is that we pick up the ball, you, try to get into the box, get intercepted, right? Get back the ball again, you, intercepted. So I don't think that will happen in the Villa game because I don't think Villa is going to sit back and get low blockers. So at this moment in time, my biggest fear, right, is that the mistakes that we're going to make when Villa attacks us, can Emerson, I'm going to say, because Porro is not going to be there, will Emery actually take Emerson, right, as the weak part of our wings and actually go at him, right? And the amount of corners, right, when we concede, when we play an attacking team, that fears us. That fears me, games against, there was one game, which game was it? Was it the Everton game? Well, when we kept getting caught, we kept giving corners away, and Everton put the defender on Vicario, and that's how we conceded the equalizer, if I'm not mistaken, right? There was a mistake from there. So as I see it, okay. My scoreline is that we're gonna lose 4-2, right? And your predictions, Chang?
Wow.
4-2,
I
Chang.
hope we nick it. I hope we nick it by the odd goal. I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1. I'm suspecting that they will score first, but hopefully we will be able to reply with two of our own before the end of the match. It's going to be a very tightly contested affair. Make no mistake about this. It's going to be a scrappy match in which the team that scores first when the game is tied at 1-1, that is the clincher. We saw that actually. We saw that happen at home against Wolves when we were tied at 1-1, and when they broke in that counter attack from our failed corner and put the ball away for 2-1, and it just held on. I have a suspicion feeling that is what's going to come to pass on Sunday. That when the score is tied at 1 apiece, the next team to get the next goal will be the winning goal for the team. So I'm hoping that it will be us, and I'm hoping that we will nick this by the odd goal.
Okay, fair. So Chang says 2-1. Arthur?
I think.
Can you hear me?
I think a major factor in that game is going to be Cash, and he could cause some serious problems in that we could get players sent off because of him. I'll go for 3-1 or 3-2 Spurs.
Well, okay, Arthur, so 3-1, 3-2 Spurs. And guys, to tell the truth, right? I've been seeing a lot of shows nowadays, right, saying that, they're going to hack cash down. There's going to be revenge on cash, blah, blah, blah. To tell the truth, right? It is what it is. It's football, right? Bad injuries happens. Footballers make bad tackles and all that. Don't have to throw so much hate out there, right? So cash will be dealt with properly when the game starts, right? So hopefully, things will be well for us, right? And Doc, what do you think? Your
Well,
prediction?
we're talking about cash. I think the best way to punish him is to make his team lose. Yes, so that's the best way of doing it.
Yes.
Number one, I always hope for a win. Eugene. I'm in the cup half full sort of guy, but I won't be disappointed though if we were to finish with a draw. Okay, simply because yes, it is difficult to come away with the result from Villa Park. But you see, the point was made by Chang and before this about the way we play. I think before this, when we meet low block teams, we run into trouble. Okay, and we play that U-shaped football that you were mentioning just now. But when we meet with teams that come at us, like Manchester City, right? Manchester City always has trouble playing us because they come at us. So when they come at us, then our forward players have to really press properly. Okay, you cannot afford, because a lot of the goals was not because of one person's mistake. It's about a series of mistakes from the front, not pressing well, and through the DMs missing out or slipping or whatever. And then suddenly
Saying, right?
Suddenly the defender
plays quite a high line too. So if Villa plays a high line, that gives us a chance of actually coming at the back and trying to
exactly.
So guys, I'm having some internet connection problems. Let's see how it goes. And Chang, you want to take over? Chang, take over.
All right. Okay. So, what you were saying, Dr. Ramlan, with regards to Matthew Cash and also our setup for the entire 90 minutes, how do you see, or rather, how would you deal with Aston Villa away at Villa Park, given our recent patchy performances? We are dominating possession, but we aren't really creating enough in the final third where it really matters to really hurt the opposition. What would you change, if at all, to our existing starting 11? Or rather, what kind of different players would you deploy on a day to sort of try to get an upper hand or to get an advantage over Villa?
Well, I think in the first place, I'm hoping. Can you hear me? Yes. So I'm hoping that who's our right winger?
Is it Kulusevski or is it
Kulusevski? Right. He might well start. Yes, because now we're seeing Brennan as sort of a super sub sort of guy. Yeah. And he's there when the opposing players are tiring a bit, right? So he'll put more pressure on them. So I think he has to make an impact more than he's done in the past 3 or 4 matches. He's sort of just under the radar, not really doing anything beyond the odd movement and beating the players and all that. And actually that side of that side on the right side is something that I think people will exploit, simply because the right midfielder, the right winger, and then you have Emerson Royal playing instead of Porro, okay? And he himself, you either defend well, okay, or you attack them and make them defend, okay? That's the truth of the matter. So I feel that it's going to be a stylistic challenge, stylistic struggle between the two teams. And I agree, it might well be one goal in it between the two teams, or at the same time I won't be disappointed if it's a draw, simply because a draw is like it's worth its weight in gold, as far as playing away to Villa is concerned. At the same time, I'd like to see more from Maddison, right? The players who start more from Maddison. I think you can see some signs of recovery in terms of his creativity with the second goal when Romero went in. Yes, correct. I think he can see all these things. So we need more of that. With Bissouma, I hope he can. He's been buzzing around. I think if you look at the heat map in the last match, he's buzzing around the place. So let's have more of that. So we have to be at our best, okay, and hope and expect them to be at their best. I think we cannot just be hoping that they'll not recover from their exertions last night. Okay, I think that's folly, because at the end of the day, you will have to be prepared for an opponent that will be at their best. Then you will be at your best. Yes. Otherwise, you become complacent and think that they're going to roll over and then play dead or something. No, it's not going to happen. Not on their own ground. Okay.
Yep,
So
they're
that's
not gonna
the
roll
thing.
over.
No, not at all. So there you go. 3-2, 2-1, whatever it is, and I would accept the draw and not be too disappointed. But I do not wish to see our team lose anytime.
That's a very
that's
good
true.
take on that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll third
For me,
that.
No, the thing is that, okay, guys, like what JP says is very right? He says 4-2 to Spurs, right? He says that Aston Villa, hopefully they'll be tired and then we can pick them off, right? Just our defensive openness worries us, right? That's why he's saying that's why we need Van der Beek to actually do all the covering, right? But I've been saying earlier, we can't play all this high intensity football because we stress out the players, they lose their hamstrings, and then we get back into injury problems again. But this Villa game, apart from it just being at the moment we're 5 points behind Villa, right? If we win, we catch up to them, all right? And we've got a game in hand, right? And of course, that game in hand is against Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge, and we know what happens usually when we go there. It's either all-out war and somebody is going to get chopped off, right? And we've had a lot of dramatic incidents there, right? But a draw doesn't actually help us, because if we are chasing after that top 4 trophy and all that to get into Champions League, it's not going to help us that much, because that gives Villa still that 5-point cushion. The win will actually bring it down to 2, and that's hopefully, I hope we can get that, right? Guys, of course, please drop your predictions like JP did, right, in the chat, right? And of course, JP says, great lad, right? Right, it's meeting, right? Take care, JP. We'll see you soon, right? And on Tottenham Way, bye-bye. And of course, Lydia, right? But guys, apart from all this, right, we have to do the calculations, the points and all that. And of course, now there's a lot of speculation. Maybe even 5th place gets into Champions League because of the coefficient ranking. Next year, the Champions League is going to expand to 40 teams, blah, 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 right? We have to take one game at a time now, right? Because we do know that we hold a key to a lot of situations, right, along the way to the end of the season, right? As we can see that we play Man City, we play Liverpool, we play Arsenal, where these 3 teams are actually going for the title, right? We could be the kingmaker or the king killer. So that plays another part into it. But hopefully, of course, the king killer that we will be is that we will kill Arsenal and not let them win the league. That is the most important, right? Hey, Nick Tay, big up, right? Nick says that. Hi guys, great show. Our strikers, I hope they'll turn up. 3-1, fingers crossed. Yeah, Nick, if I'm not mistaken, Nick is from our Malaysian Spurs chat group, right? And he's an old schoolmate of mine from Methodist Boys School, right? Thanks, Nick. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's well, right? But apart from all the games that we are going to face this period of time, I feel that all we can do is take one game at a time. And then I think our performances are slowly coming back to the certain levels that we need, right? That we saw during the first part of the season, right? And of course, Porro is back, by the way. Oh, that's good. Porro is back. Yay! We don't have to suffer the Emerson, Royale, right?
I'm just going to quickly counter check this with Alistair Gold to see if he's posted anything on Football London with news regarding to Pedro Porro's availability. But please do carry on, Mr. Eugene.
Yeah, but the thing is that, of course, Chang, we have to actually wait for Ange's press conference, right? So Ange will most probably confirm that in his press conference. Maybe the press conference has already started or ended. Maybe that's why the news has come back that Porro is back. But to tell you the truth, even with Porro back, right? Do you think it's correct to actually throw him straight into that team after the injuries that he's had?
No.
Right. So Arthur don't think so. Doc, you as a sports doctor, right?
No,
Do you think that
it's always wise to start with a fit player first. Player coming back, he should be given some some feeling of how the game is panning out, and then prepare himself mentally and physically. So I think it's best that he starts on the bench.
Okay, if he starts on the bench, that means Emerson is going to be on the right back in the beginning, right? And usually we don't turn up in the first half. That even scares me more. Chang, what are your thoughts, right? Porro coming back? Have you confirmed it? Chang is still looking for the information on the net, whether there's any information.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. But JB, thanks for the information. Now we make Chang doing a lot of searching on the net to see whether news Porro is coming back, right? But guys, okay, we've got all the score predictions for the Villa game, right? Nick says it's going to be 3-1 to us. JB says it's going to be 4-2 to us. I say it's 4-2 to Villa. Chang says it's going to be 2-1 to us. Doc Ramlan says he doesn't mind if the game draws, right? And of course, Arthur says Spurs is going to win too, right? So that's what we have, right? Okay, guys,
I have
we're
some
going to
breaking news. Sorry, Mr. Eugene, before
Breaking
you carry
news?
on.
Go ahead.
Yes, very quick pause because I need to bring you this breaking news. It has just been posted on the official social media accounts for Spurs that Big Ange has come out to say that Pedro Porro has indeed participated in our training sessions, the full training sessions, and that he is available. I repeat, Pedro Porro is available on Sunday for the game against Villa, and that he has partaken in full first team training this week. Back to you, Mr. Eugene.
That's good. That's good news, guys. That's good news. That gives us hope, right? That we can actually be more attacking and actually, right? How would you say this, right? With Porro there, it gives us more hope that we are more clinical, right? The chances we get, we're going to actually, create opportunities for Son, right, to actually put the ball behind into the net, right? And of course, hopefully Timo Werner will do that, right? It gives us more hope on that part, right, on the attacking sets. But guys, he's available for selection, but will Ange select him? Like Doc has been saying, it's not a good idea to bring a player coming back from injury straight and throwing him straight into the cauldron, right? And especially this game has got such importance on it because it's like we're not fighting Arsenal now for the fourth spot, right? We're fighting Villa for the fourth spot. Oh dear. And we see other teams, progress and create and move forward in their football achievements, right? So Porro is back for participation. First team training is available. That's the good news. Okay, guys. There are a few things that, apart from football, they will talk about, right? I'm not sure. Doc will be a bit. I'm not sure he'll be a bit apprehended to talk about this, but we have to talk about it, right?
Okay.
We heard the news coming out, right, and what's happened. So my question or my statement is that is our board really that greedy?
Yes.
Spurs come out, right? And to tell you, Doc, you must understand, Arthur falls into that category of, senior citizen concession, which will be taken away from next season.
I think the senior concession is a bad move. Taking it away is a very bad move. I mean, you cannot be digging one hole and then dig another hole elsewhere. Then you'll be digging holes. So who's going to fill that hole? That hole is you lose goodwill. You lose trust as well, because when the team is playing well, you need everybody to be behind you, and what you need to do is actually be creative with your. Now you're saying that you're going to have more than 30 events or something like that to earn money. Yes, so you can have opportunities to earn money elsewhere. So why take it out of the pocket of the hard-earned pay of your fans, your loyal fans? So I think they have to rethink this and have a strategy, or even withdraw it or amend it in such a way. At the very least, don't take away that senior concession, and then reduce at the end of the day that percentage of increase that they are planning. They're greedy, yes.
Okay, Doc says they're greedy. Go ahead, Arthur.
I was just going to say the reason he's doing that is because he's given himself, as I said earlier in the program, a $500,000 rise to $6.5 million a year, Levy, and he's a greedy, excuse my French, bastard.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The thing is that it's very simple, right? Like what Andreas is saying this, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't long. First fans were clapping for Levy, right? What I hate is the season ticket holders using this as an excuse to attack international fans. We'll come to that later, Andreas. We'll come to that later, right? But what I'm saying now, right? What the board is doing, right, is that I understand. Okay, to tell the truth, I've seen this happening for so long. The club doesn't actually care about the fans because they think the fans are just, the customers that they can milk. You get what I'm saying? And the sad part is, right, a football club is a product, right, when the fans are not consumers exactly. They are consumers, but they are a consumer in a different sense, is that they are loyal to that brand. You get it? It's like now, if a Coke, okay, we are not sponsored by Coke or Pepsi or any soft drinks, right? I'm giving an example. Let's say if Coke, right, tomorrow raises 1 can of Coke becomes £4, right? Nobody's going to buy Coke, but at least you have a choice to choose Pepsi, right, or whatever cola is out there as a replacement. But as a football fan, our loyalty is to Spurs. You can say no, and you can't say that. Okay, if you don't want to pay, don't support Spurs. Go and support Millwall. Go and support Arsenal, Chelsea, right? Go and support a different team. But you can't tell football fans to do that because we love the club because of the club and the club. You get what I'm saying, right? And it's the brand that we hold on to and we will always be loyal to. And what Levy sees, right, all these years, but what he's been doing, number one, not giving us the glory, the trophies, right, that you put up there where you can say, if we win something, you raise the prices, we don't mind because you're giving us some, pride, when we walk in the streets. When Spurs lose a game, right, I don't even wear a Spurs jersey out. When Spurs was on that 10-game and losing streak, right? I didn't mind wearing that jersey out. Whenever I go out, I'll pick up a Spurs jersey and I walk around feeling proud because, Spurs are unbeaten. You get what I'm saying? But now what has been happening, whenever I go out, I'll be thinking, shall I wear it? No, I don't want to wear it because, people turn around and say, oh, you're a Spurs fan. You get what I'm saying? You don't want that kind of feeling that you have inside. But at this moment, what the board has been doing is that they know that you are loyal football fans for so many years, right? No matter what we do, right, on this price increase, they've increased the price of the concessions last season in the stadium, Arthur, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Food prices went up by how many percent? Okay, fair. Food prices going up, they have to do it. It's because generally because of inflation, food prices has gone up. You have to meet a certain standard to make a certain profits on the food and the drinks, okay? But season ticket holders that have repercussions, right, on other tickets, because if you raise the price of the season tickets, normal tickets price will go up too. You get what I'm saying? And when you take away the senior season concession, and to tell the truth, right, we are not the first club to do it, because if I'm not mistaken, Arsenal has done it before. Yes, Andreas, we have Stockholm syndrome. I've been saying it for the past 3 years. We have Stockholm syndrome, right? Majority of the Spurs fan base has it because we're in love with our abuser. He can do anything.
Okay.
We are
Kidnapper.
in love with we've been kidnapped, we've been in love with our kidnapper, right? So we have Stockholm syndrome, right? Andreas, if I'm not mistaken, Andreas, how are you doing in Mexico? Hope you're well.
So yes, back to that comment. Is our board really that greedy? As I said, yes, they are. They'll try anything to get extra money. And if it screws the fans, tough.
Yeah. And the thing is that...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doc.
Can I say something? I think we were the highest earners, right? Our club last year, number one.
Yeah.
And in another metric, I'm not sure what it was. We were only second, but we are now fifth. And I think I've seen it written somewhere that people are expressing the opinion that our ticket prices are not commensurate with our position, with our performances, our stature and our status. I think this is a bit of an easy picking, you know. It's that low. You cannot exploit goodwill from 10 wins or whatever, all right? And then exploit that for your own sake with the pay rise for the chairman and something like that, right? So I've seen that before. So the most important thing is you need to get everybody on side. And I think this is a bad decision overall. So if you get the most money last year and you got 30 events lined up, concerts, American football, so on and so forth. Come on, you do have a plan to get money from elsewhere. You do not have to pick the pockets of your fans.
Well, one of the other areas, as Eugene mentioned earlier, were the shows that they're putting on, right?
Uh-huh.
They're looking to go as high as 30 events a year. 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they've actually applied to the Haringey Council, right, to expand their event allocations, right? But things like Chang, I need you to do something, right? I need you to check, right? What is Daniel Levy's pay per annum, right? Because
I'm on it.
I think it's 6.5 million pounds per annum,
Yeah,
but some people have been saying it's 3.5 million. So I've been always saying 6.5 million pounds. To me, is why doesn't Daniel Levy get a pay cut instead of getting a pay rise? Right? You get what I'm saying? So this is what is happening to Spurs. We are actually a small country. Daniel Levy is running us like a small country, you know, while he digs up all the money from the citizens of that country, right, and put it in his pocket for his own benefit. And while this is happening, right, because you are part of that country, you can't run away. We're stuck here, So that's how I see it. But of course, the most effect this is going to affect is the home, what I call the fans on the home ground, right? But like for us, right, because 3 of us here, we are all from Malaysia. We are considered international fans, right? As international fans, what are our actual feelings for this scenario that's happening to the home fans there? Because a lot of what what did Andrea say here, right? Earlier, Andrea saying, while this is happening, right, a lot of the focus has turned to say that what Daniel Levy is doing is that he's trying to force out this, the senior citizen concession. Is trying to force out the senior citizen spaces so they don't buy up that seat. But the thing, and of course, the season ticket holders, they're trying to push more foreign international fans into the stadium because the international fans spend more money, right? But for us as international fans, to tell the truth, right, I've never actually watched a Spurs game live. I'm planning to, but because of the exchange rate that we have now, right, for us just to go to London to watch one game, right, to spend, let's say, 5 days to 7 days in London, right, it will cost us the plane ticket, the ticket to the game, accommodation, food and beverage. For a normal Malaysian, it might even cost them a year's salary. And while the local fans turning on the international fans, right, they must understand this. We go this as maybe once in a lifetime thing, right? We only do it once. And we can't even go, unless you're in the different category where you're super rich and blah, 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 right? You can even go every week if you want to. You could be a season ticket holder being an international fan. You could be because season tickets have different levels, right? The highest level, if I'm not mistaken, is what they call the 1882 category, where the season ticket costs something about £2,300, right? And to tell the truth, £2,300 season ticket, right, is something about how much now? £2,300 is nearly about 15 to 18,000 ringgit, our money, right? So that could be, what called 30% or 50% of someone's annual pay just to hold that ticket. And if for a single fan to go there, we should spend about around, plus plane ticket, blah, 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 spending close to 15,000 ringgit, right, just to go there to watch the game. And that is for Malaysians. And predominantly, what about the Koreans, the Americans, right, that go there and spend the kind of money? But what I see is that these type of scenarios, being an international fan, I feel the hurt for the local fans, But sometimes I do disagree in the saying that pushing out the local fans to bring in international fans is a bit unfair, because we do have to put a lot of hard work and to save the money to go in. Sorry to say that, but what we can do as international fans, right? This moment is that, for me, you guys should know, right? I've been leaving out, inning out for a long time. I set up this channel is because of that, and of course to get the international fans and especially Malaysian fans together to understand what the football club is. And sometimes I'm sad is because we have our divisions of the kind of feelings that certain fans just support the club because they love the club, because they want to see exciting football. They don't mind we don't win trophies, blah blah blah. But certain fans says that we love a club that has history of winning trophies, and all of a sudden now, right, 24 years under ENIC rule, we've only won one trophy, which is the Carabao Cup. We used to hold the record numbers of FA Cup trophies, right? In the past 24, oh my God, the last one we won was 1991. In the past 33 years, we have not won one FA Cup. While that was happening, Arsenal, guys, right? Arsenal, our major enemies, competitor, right, have actually overtaken us. They have taken the mantle of being FA Cup winners, with most FA Cup winners, if I'm not mistaken, right? And of course, Andreas is saying this too, right? 30 events per year make 2.5 million tickets per season. And of course, Andreas says per season ticket holders are spoiled and privileged at times. They have no idea what it is to involve international fans to go to. That's what I've been saying, right? The amount of money that we have to save to go international fans. That's why I'm saying, I understand football has to be run properly in the finances side, because we did see when Scholar, I'm sure Arthur knows that, right? When Scholar actually ran our club nearly into bankruptcy. And I have to thank Lord Sugar, right? Alan Sugar, of all people to come in, because Alan Sugar was a Spurs fan himself, to come in to bail Spurs out, right? But Alan Sugar was very truthful to the fans. He says that I only have this amount of wealth. I can't bring our club to the next level. That's why I'm selling a certain percentage to Daniel Levy and ENIC. Guys, you must always remember, Daniel Levy and ENIC has always been involved in Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for a very long time, even during the Sugar days, because they only took over Spurs, if I'm not mistaken, in 2000, completely taking over Spurs, right? ENIC completely owning Spurs not completely, right? Owning 87 or 86 point something percent of Spurs, right? Until now, since the late 90s, right? And that turnover was in 2001 or 2002, right? Plus, what I'm saying is that Daniel Levy has said before in his Cambridge or one of his interviews, he's been saying, right? We are more like a public listed company because we have 30,000 fans who actually hold shares in Spurs. My question that I've always been asking, who are these 30,000 fans who hold that 14% of Spurs shares? You see? So he's trying to justify his financial arrangement, right, to make the club stable. I thank him for that. Building that stadium, I thank him for that. But not moving on with the football, that I don't thank him for. And not being responsible for his mistakes, right, in running the club. Every mistake that he's made, right, he's cost us money. Ndombele, 60 million in transfer fees. How would account? Another 60 million in wages. Right? Second Poch, compensation. Second Mourinho, compensation. Second Nuno, after 3 months, or is it 6 months or 3 months, compensation. And don't forget our latest manager that got sacked or resigned or whatever, compensation. All that money being thrown down the drain with no accountability. That is why I want Daniel Levy to step out of our club. It doesn't matter whether he steps out of football, he steps out of the finance, he steps out. You can say not running the club anymore, because there are so many. If you were the CEO, right, of a major company and you made losses all these years, what will happen to you?
Sack.
even if you own part of the club. You've been removed, right? But because our fans take it as it is, right? I've been saying the homegrown fans that we know, like channels of YouTube, like Tottenham Away, Tottenham on Tour, Stelios, Brian Daigle, they take that risk and they protest, right? For me, I've been leaving out, inning out since day one, right? And I've never changed my stance, right? I've been doing shows on this, and I'm not mistaken, I'm the only Asian YouTube channel that does this. Leave it in, in it out. Leave it out, not leave it in. Leave it out, leave it in. In it out. I'm going crazy nowadays, right? But guys, what I see is very sad, right? Our club doesn't bring us trophies. If I tell you, right, if every 2 years, right, you bring us a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, I'm not even seeing the Premier League, right, or even the Champions League, a Carabao Cup, an FA Cup, a European Cup, even a Conference League, right, a trophy, right, and you want to raise the prices, I won't say a thing as an international fan, right? But being an international fan, seeing the local fans being actually taken advantage of, right, being milked like a cow, right, I can't stand for that. So that's why later, Chang and Doc, right, after the show, I had to sit down with you and have a chat, since the Malaysian Spurs AGM is coming out. Let's see what we can do there.
Can I just have a brief point about all of this? Number one,
go ahead,
we
Doc.
know, we know that the core support has always been the home support. Yes, the people around the area in the UK and all that. We understand that, but football now is an international branding situation. Okay, so we have to accept that. And despite the fact that it costs a bomb to go out there and attend any match, I used to just drop by in London on the way to a meeting in Montreal, and then I spent a few days, and even then I couldn't get a ticket. I couldn't buy a ticket. And then the other thing is, we must always remember, at the end of the day, the purpose of sport. The purpose of sport is to win, right? And to win again and again, even if you lose, at the end you win a trophy. That is the purpose of all of this. It is not just to participate and qualifying in fourth or fifth place, right? And then you say every year after year you see that as success. Okay, that is success in a certain measure, but it will not make you people remember and cite and quote your name.
I know what you're saying, right? A lot of our Spurs fans nowadays, right, are so happy. They're happy because of being financial success. It's like, oh, we are top of the chart of the FFP. You can say, no, we can buy 600 million pounds. We can spend 600 million pounds on players, and nobody else can, right? Oh, we are the highest revenue club in London. We made 500 over million pounds in revenue, right? But we don't perform. Like what you said, now the problem with Spurs is the majority of the fans, right, are psychoed in a way, like what Andrea's saying, Stockholm syndrome. You've been programmed to accept, right, trophies don't matter. You get what I'm saying? Right? It's the journey, right?
Yeah.
But the journey, okay, I'm going to swear soon, but because I get heated up when it comes to this journey has been fucking 24 years with one trophy. What is there to justify this? There's nothing to justify this. But of course, I'm not going to say, I believe every fan has got their own way of loving the club and supporting the club, and everyone has got their own opinion on how they want to conduct themselves, right, and do their things. Like for me, is that how are we going to actually send this message out now, right? To tell, even international fans now are not happy on what Spurs are doing with the tickets. Even we don't go, right? But to tell the truth, like Doc, if you later I'll talk to you in the back room. If you really want to go to London and get some tickets next time, just call us. I'll arrange the ticket for you. There's no tickets, because we do have a connection of actually being able to find tickets for fans who actually travel overseas, right? Arthur will know that, right? We've done a lot of that for a lot of the YouTube community, where fans come from America. We will arrange the local fans will arrange tickets for them. They are even some of them are so big-hearted that they know that you are first time coming here. They don't even mind giving you the ticket. You get what I'm saying? And especially the season ticket holders, they don't mind giving you a ticket just to go and watch the game. I know Spurs fans in our YouTube community who are willing to do that, but of course, we will always pay back some money. You know, it's not fair just to take the ticket for free. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that at this moment in time, right, even being as international fans, we should stand up and say, no, we ain't going to take this from the board. You want to raise the season ticket price, okay, because let's say 6% is a blah, blah amount. Maybe you can reduce it, right, because of inflation, match the inflation rate or something like that, right? But don't play around with the senior citizen concession.
No.
Because don't play around with the senior citizen concession. People like Arthur. Arthur has seen us live the title before in 61, 62 season. You get what I'm saying or not? Right? And now you're telling Arthur, right? Arthur, next year, how much do you pay for your season ticket now, Arthur?
Nearly £600.
Yeah, £600. That means next season you have to pay double, right?
No, next season, yeah.
Next season he has to pay double, £1,200 for his ticket. You get what I'm saying? So, and I've seen a lot of social media where they're going. A lot of the senior season season ticket holders are saying, the season ticket holders are saying, I can't afford this anymore to go to Spurs because with, let's say, £600 or £400 for the season ticket, I still can afford to go. You get what I'm saying? Not right? But now with this type of things happening, I can't afford to go. You see? And I did see a tweet right out there. Someone said something is that some of these senior citizen ticket holders actually take their senior citizen ticket right at a discount price and later they sell it off and make some profit out of it. Right? To tell the truth, maybe Daniel Levy knows about this, so he's trying to stop this. Right? He wants that profit and not give it to the senior citizen ticket holder. Right? So maybe that could be it too. You get what I'm saying? Or maybe instead of doing this type of nonsense, maybe Daniel Levy should make it, instead of taking away the senior citizen concession, right? He should say that, you know, as you are holding a senior citizen ticket, right, from this concession price, right, you're not allowed to resell this ticket. You know, that's all, right? Find a way to get around it. But like what Andrea's is saying, they need the local fans to protest about this issue, right? Guys, last season when Conte was in charge, right, the songs of Levy Out rang across the stadium, right? When Nuno was in charge, when we lost 3-0 to Manchester United at home, the Levy Out chants shocked Levy because he never thought that the fans would turn on him. And the fans has turned on him, right? When we got Ange in, the football came back to be acceptable football. He came out and said that, oh, we've got an old Spurs back. My question to him is, which old Spurs do we have back? The one that's under you that win nothing, right? Or the one that's been under Scholar that we've been winning so many things, right? Even under Sugar, right? We won things. You know, Alan Sugar had our club for how many years? 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? Was it 4 years after? 4 or 5 or 6 years? Right? Yeah. In that 4 years, Sugar won how many cups? I know we didn't win the Premier League, but at least we did win at least 2 or 3 cups, right? In 4 years, right? Enoch and Levy has been in charge of Spurs for 24 years. Financially, you made a stable, right? But like what Doc says, what is the point of sports? Are we kindergarten children? If we are kindergarten children, then it's okay, right? Everybody's there for the participation. We are not kindergarten children anymore, guys. We are here to win things. So let all the people out there, if the international fans can actually find a way to show their displeasure on this, I know it doesn't affect us that much overall, but we should actually stand up and support the protest of this business decision that the club has made, right? Go on social media, show your displeasure. Go on what call platforms, right? Talk to your Spurs fans and tell them, you know, we can't accept this, right? It doesn't matter whether you're Korean, whether you're Indian, whether you're American, whether you're Malaysian, it doesn't matter where you're from. We have to show our displeasure about this. And of course, we have to show that we want to win something. That's what I'm going to say, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Doc, okay, Doc is not frozen. I thought Doc is frozen. Doc, you're not frozen. Doc, you're really good at that, right? Oh, you're really good at that. Yes,
Just
Arthur,
listening
go ahead.
intently.
Levy met with a sheik recently, about a week or so ago.
Yeah, I know. I heard that, yeah.
They're talking in terms of £3.5 billion for Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, if it's £3.5 billion for Spurs, right? If there's a buyer out there, I don't mind. You get it, no? I don't mind. Just as long as the buyer doesn't say this, right? I just hope this doesn't happen. Levy will say that I will sell you the club for £3.5 billion, right? But then I'll still be chairman. That's my biggest fear, right?
He doesn't.
Okay,
he doesn't,
Andreas is saying, right? Yeah,
he
go ahead.
doesn't want to let go.
Yeah, I know he doesn't want to let go. That's why I'm saying he's whatever it is, right? The Spurs board has to wake up, right? The football club will not exist without the fans. That's all. And what Andreas says here, right? The old Spurs basically means fans are happy that they are being entertained, and it's all about having that day out beer and being entertained and getting a cup final and means an extra day out. Yeah, that's why, Andreas. It's all come to that. We are happy clappers for the journey, right? We're all kindergarten children here, right? We're all about 4 or 5, 6 years old, right? When we participate in something, you get a medal or a star. Are you gonna be happy with that, guys? I'm gonna be happy with that, right?
No way.
And bloody hell, if Arsenal wins the league this year, what's gonna happen, right? I wanted Arsenal to win the league last year, right? But they bloody bottled it, right? Because if Arsenal won the league last year, right, I tell you, the Levy out protest, right, would have tripled. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't. They bottled it, right? So let's see what happens this year. But okay, let me get to Chang first. I've gone on my stupid rant for more than 20 minutes. Chang, what are your thoughts on the feelings of the international fans?
For me, international fans have always been taken advantage of, and we have been exploited for our loyalty, our steadfast, unwavering support of the club that we love so dearly, to the point that all of us are pretty much Tottenham till we die. Lily white blood runs through our veins, and for this fact alone, for Daniel Levy and ENIC to take advantage of that and turn it into insane figures, insane amounts of profit that line their own pockets, they are laughing all the way to the bank when they see us literally almost pay through the nose with our hard-earned cash and our salaries just to feel part of the club, just to feel like this is part of where we belong. And for me, especially the international fans outside of Britain, outside of outside of Europe in itself, the international fans actually have it worse, because this is exactly what Mr. Eugene said earlier. Unless you are really that wealthy and you are what do you call this? Rich enough to afford the airfare, even the match day tickets, or even the lodging there in N17 or anywhere in Britain, wherever you may be watching those matches. All we can do, international fans, all we have when it comes to following Spurs, we buy merchandise, we buy jerseys, we follow match days live on the television. We even try to get our hands on very rare memorabilia or rare souvenirs that are honestly very few and far between when it comes to what is on offer for us international fans. And that in itself, that by its own definition is enough for us to be bled dry almost by the merchandising, by what do you call this? No, it's the gifts and souvenirs from the Spurs official shops. And it's one thing for us to be paying X amount of money if that is expected, or rather that is the market price. But in actual fact, if we were to compare, like for example, jersey sales alone, the prices of jerseys alone that Spurs fans have to pay for our yearly kits, whether it's the home kit, away kit, third kit, whatever it is, you compare those prices, the Nike kits, with that of the prices being offered by other clubs, we are paying prices at a premium, almost I wouldn't say it's mercenarious, but it certainly is very steep. It certainly is very, very, very pricey, especially when you take into consideration things like our currency conversion. You take into things like our international shipping, all these put together. And for the average fan, maybe you can afford maybe a jersey or two every other season. But beyond that, our international fans are really being bled dry. And that is just us international fans. I'm not even going to go into what the local fans themselves have to endure, much like what King Arthur himself has to pay almost on a yearly basis just for the season tickets that is being expected from the loyal fan base. And this isn't something new, actually. If you go back to the old lane, the old White Hart Lane, when you look at the season waiting list, that queue.
They say the season tickets queue is past 100K. Yes, up. Right, but during the Conte time, the somehow or another, when things turned bad last season, a lot of the people in line were bumped up very quickly to get the season tickets to cover up. That's why I'm saying the club doesn't care that much on whatever happens, right? Because they know, right, if you leave your seat, it will be taken over. Yeah, go ahead, Arthur.
Just to let you know, before I became an old boy, 14 years ago, when that position changed, I was paying £1,250 a year. And then the year after, because I was an old boy, I got it for £400.
Wow.
Sorry, £365 it was.
From £1,200, you got it for £300 for the season ticket.
Yeah,
14. You're talking about 14 years ago.
Because 14 years ago, because I was an old boy.
Yeah.
But that's changed now, and the season tickets, even for old boys like me, have all gone up. Nelly wants to do away with it entirely.
That's true. Yeah,
and I've supported this club. My parents were Spurs fans. I was 3 years old. I can't remember that, but I remember my first game. When they were playing an internet German team. That was in 1951, and I was 6. That was where Eddie Bailey went up for a ball with a German player, and they cracked skulls. He was never the same player after that. All right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is, my history goes a long way back. I've seen the way prices are going, and it's always up.
Yeah, no, that's part of the world, right? Inflation, blah, and all that. But I mean, from 300 after 14 years, now you're paying 600 quid. That is more or less, fair. 14 years, the rise is nearly double after 14 years, right? Nearly 1.5 decades, right? So that's quite fair, right? But now they're going to remove it. But that means now you're going back to paying the original price again, right? After 14 years, yeah. And Doc, your feelings about being an international fan?
Well, it's on the one hand, that the core support for the club has to be the people over there who are physically there on a weekly basis, year in, year out. But at the same time, it takes a lot. It's not just about the expenses, It's about being out there thousands of kilometers away, but yet having that strong affinity for the club, the way we play and all that. At the same time, whenever I tell people that I'm a Spurs fan, they're all mystified, They are very mystified. They say, well, they always expect, because you're surrounded by Manchester United and the Liverpool fans, however deluded they are. And once in a while, you come across the Arsenal fan, and then you say, oh no. Okay, but at the same time, the most important thing is that they become like that because it's a culture of winning. There's a culture of winning and winning trophies. Because they win trophies, so there's an aura of invisibility that they cloak themselves with, even in hard times, like what Manchester United is experiencing right now. Even then, also, they still think they are the top team, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, because you have to believe in your team in the first place, support them. That's why we're all here. But at the same time, that puts as I acknowledge your point, Eugene, about this thing, like we are held hostage. We're held hostage by our own devotion for the club, and that's been exploited by the chairman at the moment. I have no love for him, I tell you. At the end of the day, I'm there for the team, not for the chairman. So the most important, I'm there for the team and not the chairman. And I'll be happy. On the one hand, a lot of people are not in favor of getting some oil state coming in to buy the club, right? On the other hand, some people will say that will be the way out. Let Levy, arrange and do business with all his concerts and American football and all that. Let the football people run the football. So this is something that I feel will be an arrangement that will be all about balance, Because on the one hand, you want the football to flourish. On the other hand, you need the finances because it's professional football. So this is something that I feel we do not have. We do not have the balance between what we need to make our club stronger, but at the same time, we are not chasing our mission statement to make our team stronger. So this is something that I feel we need to correct. And whatever protest that we have, I've always wondered, what has Anik ever come up with a mission statement, in terms of the football?
I've never seen one.
Never. Right? They never say. Let's say, for example,
our DNA. They always say we want to maintain.
No. No, even thieves have a DNA, okay? Right? So, okay. So the most important thing is for people to say, what is our target? To win this or that or that. We have been there or thereabouts, being a top 6 Premier League team, and then being in the top 4 and being in the Champions League all this while. But it's time for them to target winning something, right? And everything, we are just hoping, we're not planning.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Doc. Because like when Newcastle was taken over by the Saudis, right? I mean, we all know what happened there, right? When the Newcastle was taken over the Saudis, right? At least their new owners came out and says that, right? Our ambition, right, is to win the Premier League within the next 10 years. They put in a timeline, right? And a vision and an ambition, a target to hit, right? Our owners for the past 24 years, right? They've never said anything like that. They only just says that, we want our, during the Nuno time, there was one period of time after Mourinho, he says that, he came out with a statement that says that we need to get our DNA back, right? Our old Spurs back, the blah, 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 right? But now, to me, DNA means definitely no ambition. Yes, sir. And the worst part is, our fan base accepts this. Majority of fan base doesn't have ambition. You're not like Arsenal fan. Arthur, hold on. You remember Stephen Fittley, right? The dear boy. Stephen. His first year anniversary is coming up after his passing, right? You remember when he always come on our channel, right? We'll have like all the Spurs fans will gather around him. He'll be one Arsenal fan on my channel, right? And he'll just say one thing. I have only seen Arsenal win things, right? And I'm Arteta out because we haven't won anything in 20 years. I don't want to see the FA Cup. It's nothing. I won the league. We don't have fans with that kind of passion of wanting to win the league, right? Because we are Spurs fans here. We are sitting down here at the moment. We aren't even thinking about winning the league. We're thinking, can we win the Carabao Cup? That is the most easiest cup for us to attack. But we even don't do that. What happened this year? We were kicked out in the first chance in the Carabao Cup. FA Cup, I got nothing to say. It's because big up Danny. Hope you're doing well. The FA Cup, I got nothing to say because we were drawn against Manchester City, right? Even at home, we didn't even turn up. Or while our fans were all saying, our fan base was saying, oh, Man City comes to the Spurs Stadium, can't score goals. right? They are this, they are that, right? We will surely beat them. But what happened, right? Nothing happened. Right? We lost again. So we're out of the FA Cup. The Premier League, okay, we are not even in the title chase. But of course, during the first 10 games, right, we were there, right? We were title contenders. Now we're top 4 contenders, barely, right? So that's what I'm saying. The fan base ambition is lacking, right? If you have more fans like me, Arthur, Doc here, and of course Chang, right, who understands that the sport, right, has an objective, right? If you play a sport without an objective, right, why are you doing it? Just for the participation? So
Exactly.
are we going to all just sit down and become fans like that? Go ahead, Arthur. Sorry, just to let you continue what you want to say.
It was just slightly humorous. I was going to say there is ambition, and that is ambition on Levy's part to make more money.
No, of course, yeah. There's no ambition in the football, but there's ambition of the money. And to tell you the truth, right, a lot of fans out there are saying, "Oh, we can't do it like what Scholar did, right? He nearly bankrupted us." And I keep telling fans, right, we are too big to fall nowadays. You get what I'm saying? Not once you reach a certain level, right, when your club is worth billions, right, we will never go under, right? You tell me, if Spurs goes under tomorrow, right, and there's a nominal fee of £1 for someone to buy it over and then cover all the debts, right? I'm sure someone will do it because the stadium is worth at least £2 billion now with the land, right? And don't forget, Levy is a property developer. The land around the stadium area
and the training facilities, that cost a fortune to build, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
First class,
right?
world-class facilities.
Yeah, and for what, right? And our training facilities, right, is, we are developing youth, right, to sell. We are not developing youth, right, to integrate them into our squad or our first team to bring us to glory. Look at what Liverpool did, right? They basically gazumped, right, $1 billion Chelsea squad, right, with youngsters. I'm not saying all of them were youngsters, right? But when they were playing in extra time, 60 to 70% were youngsters after all the substitutions and all that. And they still beat Chelsea. So that's a bad thing for Poch, right? And of course, Andrea's saying some cultures is only about taking part. Yeah, but the thing is that we ain't going to go there, right? And what Danny is saying, right? Yeah, we are Yo-Yo Club, Champions League football 1 year, then there's, no, we are not, and then they're giving us crap about getting that Champions League money. Yeah, that is the thing. Is it the fans' fault that we didn't get Champions League? Were the fans playing on the pitch? No. Who chose the managers, right? Who buy the players, right? And we have been saying this, right? Daniel Levy should not get involved in buying the players. You get what I'm saying now? He chased after Jet Spence, remember, guys? Jet Spence, £15 million player for Conte. In the end, when's Jet Spence now? That's what I'm saying. The amount of money wasted on players is horrendous, and he's not taking accountability for it because he blames someone else. Because the best person to blame in a football team, right, is the manager. Simple as that. So whether we have ambition or not now is whether our fan base have the ambition to want to win something. If you really have the ambition, like what I told, we're talking to Arthur about Stephen, right? He's the kind of fan that he says that he doesn't care. FA Cup, Carabao Cup is bullshit. I want the Premier League, right? But sadly to say that he passed on even before Arsenal could win the Premier League. I actually wanted Arsenal to win the Premier League last year because he passed on last year. But this year, maybe, hopefully, they will win. But if they win, right? I'm not an Arsenal fan, guys, all right? I'm not an Arsenal fan. But if they do win, right? The Arsenal fans is going to rub it in our faces for 1 year. I'm sorry, for one season, okay, for 1 year, right? The whole season.
Yeah.
Right? And the worst part is that what are our fans going to do? Sit down and take it? Why aren't we going to push it, right? So, of course, what Danny's saying, right? Who sanctioned bringing in Brian Hill, Daniel Levy, as well as a player I could see from day one? No, they tell the truth, right? That's what I'm saying. Bad. It's not to say we don't spend the money. We have the money, we spend the money, on draws. Right?
That's right.
We spend the money. Our vision of buying players, right? Under Daniel Levy's vision is that we buy players not for the football. We buy players for the value. And we keep seeing it now. We bought Bergvall out on loan. We buy Valise out on loan. No, right? So in the day, all these young players, right? Sooner or later, if they do well, the value go up. But he has done mistakes too. Troy Parrott, Jack Clark, right? These two players we bought. And don't forget, Ryan Sessegnon, £30 million from Fulham. How many years ago? 4 years ago. We wasted £30 million on Ryan Sessegnon, who is, right, now the ultimate signal.
We used to think Darren Anderton was sick note, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
bloody Sessegnon.
Yeah.
Super,
Now
super
Sessegnon
signal.
has taken- Yeah. Sessegnon has taken over Anderton's title of being.
Yeah.
But the tell the truth, right? But when Anderton did play and was able to play, he was good.
Great.
He
player.
wasn't bad. He was
No,
a good
yeah.
player.
He was
Great
England
player.
international.
Yeah, he was an England international and he was a good player, right? He commanded that midfield. He had creativity, right? He could pass the ball. He could thread a needle, right? The eye of the needle with his ball. But the thing is that we got Ryan Sessegnon running on the wings, running up and down, right? And pulls a hamstring. Okay, it's a right hamstring now, right? Then 3 months later, it's the left hamstring now, right? Then 4 months later, I don't know what hamstring he's going to pull. Any more hamstrings does he have? And the worst part is, right, we spent £60 million, right, on a Richarlison who had pubic bone problems. What is wrong with our medical team? That's why Richarlison couldn't shoot for the past for the one season that we was under Conte. Right, but now he's done his surgery. He has gotten over all these things, but of course he's got his mental health illness and all that. I understand mental health illness plays a lot. Being a football player, I understand, because if you're not good enough, the fans will jump on you and they will curse you and they will do all kinds of things to you, and it actually will affect your mental health because we're all human. In their day, we're all human, right? That's why I said I don't hate football, our bad football players, because I don't blame them, because if they are bad, they're not good enough. But my question is that why are they still here? Right? A lot of people are saying, should we keep Ryan Sessegnon, right, next season when he comes back? To me, is that why should we keep him? Why aren't we selling him? Right? But then the question is that if he's such a sick note, right, who is going to buy him?
I think the point has to be made, Eugene, gentlemen, about in the first place, your recruitment must be based on the right metrics, the right situation. Okay, first your choice of the player to buy, and then your negotiation and all that is all the business. It's all business to me. But and the other thing is, the most important thing is for you when somebody gets injured. You see, I sense that there is a problem with the way people have correlation between the medical situation and the performance situation. I always ask students who come under me when I take them for attachment, I ask, are you doing sports medicine or medicine in sports? Because there's always a situation where you're looking at the clinical aspect and you're not correlating with the performance aspects. Because when we have somebody with a hamstring injury, I do not look at the hamstrings alone, because a person is not made up of the hamstrings alone, whether it's the right, left, and you're talking about some other hamstring, yes? So you're because you have to look further up and further down. In my experience, some of the big causes about hamstrings is not the hamstrings alone, but also the lower back. People have not looked at the lower back properly, number one. Number two, their running and walking gait, so on and so forth, the way they kick. And Richarlison's problem with his groin, you have to look at the way he kicks. I mean, when you have a groin problem, then you have to, when you do the reconditioning, not the conditioning in the first place, the reconditioning and the rehab, you must address all of these performance issues, So I think there's a bit of a gap between the medical team per se and also the performance team, the coaching team. So I think there has to be a closer correlation, because we find this problem in other sports as well. Hockey, field hockey, badminton and squash, so on and so forth. So I feel that in the end, if you look at the football, you have to look at the science of the football, which they have already started doing. But I think they're already behind the other teams as well, because you've got Manchester City and even Newcastle. I think they're maybe a bit forward, and even Brighton. If you look at Brighton, the way they recruit players, we have a lot to learn from them.
Yep. And to talk about this is all sports science, right? To tell the truth, right? maybe Spurs need someone like you, right, to go in and
Yeah.
that medical. If Spurs offered you the job, would you have joined? Would you join them?
No, if they restore the senior concessions back to back to parity, then I'll go. Okay, so they'll be part of the deal, huh? Okay, Arthur.
Okay. All right. Scott, big up Scott. Yeah, you got a link, right, Scott? But if you're not free, right? Scott hates Levy and our fans. Yeah, I understand, right? And of course, Danny says, right, Serious Football Club would release Sessignon.
Yeah.
Paul G,
Yeah.
thanks for the subscribe, right? Thanks, right? Right. And Chang is saying here too, right? Good afternoon, everyone. Paul, right? And of course, right, from our channel. But like we were saying, right, we see our players go in and out the medical treatment table, right? And Doc is actually, is a doctor, and he's into sports medicine and not medicine sports, right? You were saying there's both ways of looking at it. Yeah. And the thing is that if you, big up Jose, big up. Good afternoon to you too, Jose, from El Cockrell TV, and of course from Ball. The thing is that in these times, right, football has become not just a sport, more of a science nowadays, right? Of trying to maintain the players, their abilities, their weakness, and all the the surrounding that goes around it, even their mental health illness. Right? If you are not mentally strong here, right, which sometimes when we see our Spurs players play, right, you're wondering the intelligence level of football that they have, right? You're sometimes wondering, do they have it? You know, when you play that stupid ball, and you can see so many other options for you to take, but you play that stupid ball. If you don't have that capability, okay, that means your quality, you don't deserve to be playing Spurs. Your quality, you're not a top six, top six or a Premier League player, right? Look, okay, I'll give you an example. Harry Winks. We cursed him. We say he's rubbish. We say he's shit. He goes to Leicester now. He's running the team, right? Because Harry Winks, according to Stell, right, from Tottenham away, Harry Winks has always been played in the wrong position. He has never been played in his right position. Never been used properly by the managers that he's been put under. And I don't blame him, because during his tenure in Spurs, right, he had to go a run of Mourinho. I did start from Poch, right? Poch, Mourinho, Nuno, Conte. 4 managers with different style of plays. So you can't blame him there. But now he's gone over to the championship, and he's a baller there. But the problem is that when he comes up to the Premier League, the level is different. Will he be a baller here again? So this is what we're going to wait for next season, when Harry Winks comes back to the Premier League, and when he plays Spurs, let's see what happens. We're going to wait for that, right? That's how I see it. Of course, the chats. Paul says that. Been to KL once, beautiful. Good afternoon, sunny. Yep, don't believe it's not London. Paul, you come back to KL again, let us know. We'll take you out and show you a good time in a certain way. Okay, and then of course the rest of the chats, they're just saying hi to each other, right? Big up to you guys, right? But we come to this again, like what Scott M says, right? He hates Levy and he hates our fans. I understand why he hates our fans, because our fans don't show that passion, right? That hunger for glory. That's why I understand that, right? So, but guys, it's been a very, very interesting conversation here, right? To tell the truth, I've not been doing a lot of shows lately, but hopefully now maybe I'll come back and do more shows with Chang being my co-host, right? I'm going to put more pressure on him, but Chang has got to work. Tell the truth, if I start work, the shows might come back down again, right? But I'll try to do at least one show a week, right? And of course, us being Spurs fans, now the first thing that we have to tackle is that being international fans, even though, right, the season tickets rise doesn't affect us that much, right? Because we're really going to spend a fortune just to go over to London to watch the game, right? And of course, taking away the concession, right? These are a few things, right? As us international fans, right, we must take into consideration, right? We must show that we are not happy, right? And we must let the club know, right? They have to change that, that policy that they're trying to impose, right? Maybe the season tickets, normal season tickets should be revised to a lower rate, right, of the increase. Number one. Number two is that please remove the senior citizenship concession, their policy of trying to remove it. Please stop that, right? And I hope that we can band together as a fan base, right, to show the club of our dissatisfaction. Before I end the show, I'll have a round of last words from the panel here, right? I'll start first, of course, with my co-host Chang. Any last words? Oh, Chang, wait first. Before that, I'll ask Doc. Doc, are you free this Sunday at 9 p.m. to go and watch the game?
9 p.m. I think I'll be at my sister's house. There's a gathering over the weekend. Yeah.
Is
yeah,
it
but-
9 or 11?
9.
11, isn't
It's
it?
11, right? It's closer to 11. It
Oh,
should
sorry, I'm not
be.
sure. It's 11.
It should be 3 p.m. UK time. If it's 3 p.m. UK time on a Sunday,
11.
it would be 11
Sure.
I
p.m.
think it's 11, like-
Gentlemen, the kickoff on Sunday is 1 o'clock
Yeah.
British Mean Time.
So it's 9 p.m.
It'll be 9
Yeah,
p.m. Okay, good.
Oh,
That's
So
good.
if Doc, if
Yeah.
you can't make it for the 9 p.m., then Chang, 9 p.m. watch along.
I will have to get back
Can
to
you?
you on this because I already
You'll be
promised
marked.
Senor Garcia and also
You
over on Talk
again
and Ball.
promised them. Yeah.
But I'll
All
tell you
right.
what. Let me try and work something out with them because I already did one watch along with them for the home game against Palace. Maybe this time around this weekend I will try and join you on Spurs
Okay.
Nation TV for the away game at Villa. So
Thanks,
let me
own
see if I
channel.
can get a replacement.
Your own
Get a
channel.
replacement. If
But don't worry, if you can't make it, don't worry. I'll find Arthur will be free. I mean, there'll be a lot of us. Will be free to watch it. Yeah.
I'll see if I can find a replacement for me to take over at LTL Cockerel and Talk and Ball. Otherwise, if not, we might even be able to do a dual stream if you're interested. We can even do a dual
maybe-
stream.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a dual stream. I'll talk to Colin. We'll talk to Jose, and we see how we arrange that.
He's actually here in the chat. If you look in the
Yep,
chat, Jose
okay.
is here in the chat. He just joined the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm not sure whether he's still here or not, right? Because some of the subscribers left, some of the viewers left. But Jose, we'll keep in touch. We'll see how to arrange that, right? But guys, last words, Chang.
Come on, you Spurs. Let's do it away at Villa Park against Aston Villa. 3 points.
Okay.
It must be a 3 points. Otherwise, we'll be losing out on top 4 and potentially even better summer signings. We need that top 4. We need that Champions League spot to entice and lure the top talent in Europe to join the ranks of Son Heung-min and Maddison and Romero. So come on, you Spurs. 3 wins is a must. 3 points is a must against Aston
Alright.
Villa this weekend.
Okay. And Arthur?
Took the words out of my mouth. A must win for Spurs on Sunday. Whether we can do it or not remains to be seen, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
All right. And Paul G says to you on weekend, folks, 2-0 to Spurs. Oh, okay. He's
Oh.
And Doc,
Well, I, as a fan, I have to believe in the team. You see, so let's win that match. Come on, you Spurs.
That's good, right. Of course, I want Spurs to win, but I'm more realistic, right? We don't use it.
No,
But guys,
no, you have to have balance.
Every balance, right? But guys, Cheng and Doc, don't go away after because I'm going to say all the shout out to all the guys in the chats, especially Paul G. Thanks for being on, being a subscriber. Cheng's Jose, TV, Dan E was here, right? Scott M, right? Scott M, watch along, right? Don't forget this Sunday. Let's see how we're going to do it, right? Andreas, hope you're doing well too. Andreas, if I'm not mistaken, you're still in Mexico. Right. Who else do we have? Mostly, I think I've gone through everyone. Oh, Nick Tay too. Nick Tay, yep. Our Malaysian Spurs member, brother. Right. And of course, JP from Tottenham Way. Chris Agamba, the number 1 Agamba. Chris, watch along, right? This Sunday, if you're free. But I have to get Chris a stream because whenever Chris doesn't watch along, he doesn't get to watch. Maybe I'll try to arrange something special for him the next time. Guys, I'm going to put a very, very special outro this time. It's going to be a bit long, right? But just hang in there. And all you Levy outers, this is the protest that happened last year. Okay? Watch this. Take care, everyone. And as always, Levy out from Asia.
Levy out.
Levy out. Say we want Levy out. We want Levy out. We want Levy out. Say we want Levy out. We want Levy out. Say we want Levy out.
When is your breaking point? Tell me. When are you going to learn that we're doing it for the good of...
We sang in the rain, we sang in the sun, and we sang in the rain. They're trying to stop us, look what they did. The thing I want to is living out, living out, living out. The thing I want to is living out, living out, living out.
Hi guys, it's Dino here. I'm here at the protest, as you can see.
We want Libya! We want Libya! We want Libya!
It's very bright. There's the stadium.
We want Libya!
Now I hear there's going to be loads of protests in the stadium, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, but it's all peaceful. Please come and join us if you fancy having a little say of what you want. And yeah, leave you out.
Right, guys, leave you out.
Leave it out. Leave